Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
When the lights begin to glow and the trees are decked with snow, everyone's in cheer with smiles on display.
Last year I bought a bag of dinosaurs at Dollar Tree and made some ornaments with little sleds I found. This year we're gonna go big, so I'm gathering everything together I think I might use for these projects. And in the description, you will find a link to Amazon for any of those products I used that I bought there. And Amazon will give me a little compensation for any of those links you use to purchase the items. Project number 1, Sleigh It.
Waking up to see the snow fall.
I am smitten with this apothecary paint color from Debbie's Design Diary. Doesn't it look beautiful with these flowers? We're going to paint this sleigh with the apothecary chalk paint over Rustoleum black spray paint. That's a really important step because I'm going to wet distress the chalk paint. When I do that, I'll use a wet wipe back some of the chalk paint, and whatever is underneath it will show. So if I don't use something that's going to stay, that paint will also go away down to the wood. The black paint is a sealer and a primer all in one. After I'm done distressing, I will have to use a sealer so nothing else will scratch off rub off the chalk paint. And we're going to do the same thing with this dinosaur. And you guys, I picked this dinosaur because when I put her in the sleigh backwards, her little hand fits right on top. It's just so cute. I'm just using simple wet wipes, generic brand that I found actually on the side of the road to distress her. And now I'm putting flowers in. Before I put them in permanently, I put them in to see where I think they'll look good. Guess where I found this foam? Anyone else guesses out there? I found it on the side of the road. People throw away so many flower arrangements. So I picked them up, and oftentimes the baskets or the containers they're in are in great condition. I've even reused flowers.
The season meant to love, words on.
Y'all, don't be afraid of using stuff you find on the side of the road. When I was growing up in Emmett, Idaho, our garbage trucks had signs on them that said, "Your garbage is our bread and butter." I thought that was so gross until my mom explained it, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I'm using the foam that I found on the side of the road, and right now I'm just cutting it down to see how the little dinosaur girl fits, and I'm going to glue her right in there. And I just put little extra pieces of foam where I thought I would need it. When you make an arrangement, start with the biggest pieces first and then work around that. Add in the next size and then the smaller size until you get to the very littlest things. And then at the end, you can add in whatever you feel needs to be filled. To cut the flower stems, I use a pair of pliers, easy for me to say, a pair of pliers, and I bend the wire back and forth until it breaks, and then I use a razor blade to cut the plastic. You can use wire cutters, but we all know I'm famous for losing things, and those are a lot more expensive. Where I put the flowers where they belong, I put some glue where they're going to go, and then afterwards I just kind of peel them back a little and put a little more glue to make them sturdy, or if maybe they're facing the wrong direction, I use a little extra glue to get them just perfect. Here's something else I found on the side of the road. Some people had moved out and their landlord just threw everything out there, and y'all, I felt so sad because she was a crafter. It was sad, but I'm not going to just leave it there. So I brought home this ribbon. It's a velvet pink ribbon, and I threw it through the washer and it came out really good shape. So I figured out where to put it and started around the edge, and I put the glue on the ribbon because I'm not very good at gluing a straight line. Then I just place it where I think it needs to go. When you make a bow out of one-sided ribbon, you need to twist it. So I leave a little strip and then I make a loop. I twist the ribbon so the pretty side is on the outside, and I loop it. I twist it again, loop it, and each time I twist it, I put my finger over where I looped it. And this one I used 4 loops on each side, and I left a little bit of ribbon hanging down, and half the time I was doing this, off the screen, so I lost a lot of footage. I was so into it. Then I took another piece of ribbon and I wrapped it around it, so now it has 4 strips hanging down. I just felt like she needed a little piece underneath her. I just used my glue gun to put hot glue right where I wanted it, and I cut it so that the links were the right length, or the strips, the hanging downy parts were the right length, and I cut them at an angle, and you want to always do that with ribbon so they don't fray. And then there were some pieces, like the one I just cut, it was facing the wrong way, so I used some glue to put right up underneath there at the top where you won't see it. I just put a piece of glue and turned it so the velvet side is showing. And the glue is super hot, so I use a little piece of the stem left over from a flower to press down on the outside of the velvet, and that way I won't get a blister. Now I'm just kind of fluffing everything up and pulling off the little strings of glue and trying to figure out where it might need a little bit more filler. And I thought it needed a little bit of gold. So I put the pink ribbon through 2 bells that I got at a thrift store, and I spread them just far enough around so that they would meet, and where they meet is where I tie the knot. And I do the same thing with the glue that I did underneath her head with the bow. I just glue down the pieces so that they're facing the correct direction. I found a couple other places where I just thought we needed some more filler. These leaves also were just kind of pointing up the wrong way, so I decided to put a little glue underneath them and hold them down on the glue until they stayed, and that way they look prettier. And one of them had a bunch of holes in the end, like they missed it at the factory, so I cut that off. Now I added some more of the sphagnum moss and I decided we needed some of those little glitter gold styrofoam balls that you can get at Dollar Tree, a big huge package of like 100. And I almost always use an odd number of things. It's not because of OCD, it's because that's what I learned in retail floral design in high school. And that's it. She's done. She is ready to slay.
The twinkling lights, let's make the memories tonight. Oh, this Christmas time, with joy we'll decorate, sharing love that won't abate. Oh yeah, this Christmas time, laughter fills the air so sweet, singing carols on repeat, and this Christmas will be the best it's ever been for me. Candles lit, shining bright, holding you close, feels so right. Oh, this Christmas time, seeing the snowflakes dance together in this romance. Oh, this Christmas time.
Hang on, it's project number 2.
Santa's sleigh planned tonight.
I lost the footage of painting this, but I started it with, instead of spray paint for the base paint, I used Debbie's Design Diary chalk paint in mint chip, and then I sealed it. So when I put the red paint, and I can't remember the name, I'll have to write it up in there, it will rub off and show just a little bit of that mint chip underneath. I love that look. Isn't that cute? And again, it's just a wet wipe that I, found on the side of the road. It was sealed still, but it had gotten dried out. I don't know if somebody ran over it. So I just used my mister to get it wet. I just kind of pick up the pieces and look at them to see if they are distressed where I want them. And the dinosaur I spray painted with black flat Rustoleum, and I put Apothecary by Debbie's DIY over the top. And this is what I seal it with. This matte Rustoleum has a dial on it, so you can make, like, the paint beads that come out can be big or little. And I like it on number 3. Now I'm going to figure out the placement, starting with the biggest thing first, which is the dinosaur, and then I'll figure out what I want on him in particular, and then I'll spread out around him with the bigger things, working my way down to the smallest items. I really wanted to use this white Christmas tree from something I took apart that didn't sell last year, but it doesn't have a base, so I found this little ornament, and I'm just going to pop it right in there with a lot of glue. Can we talk about my mess? It's super embarrassing, but I don't think I can ever just be that clean girl. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to make 8 or 9, like maybe 19 workstations, and that way every time I start a new project while I'm waiting for paint to dry or something, I'll have a clean space. And then at the end of the day or the week, I'll just take like 5 hours to clean everything up. But hey, it'll look good while I'm filming, right? Right?
Snowflakes gently falling down, lights are all.
Because the scarf is one-sided, I want to make sure that when I tie it on the dinosaur's neck, the only part that shows is the pretty side. So I'm just going to attach it with a little bit of glue, or a lot of bit of glue. Jesus used carpentry nails, handyman used duct tape, I use a hot glue gun and copious amounts of glue sticks.
Join us in this festive song, 'cause the joy lasts all year long. It's wrapped with care beneath.
I found these stars online, and to my surprise, when I opened them up to put one side on the front and one side on the back of each tree, there's another star in between. I don't know if they put it there to make a noise when it shakes, but who shakes a star? Anyway, I either ruin another pair of scissors, which is why I buy them in bulk from Amazon, which I will add a link. But it really works best just to use pliers and bend it back and forth until it breaks off. And then I use the scissors to cut off any small parts that might poke somebody, because we don't want none of that. I don't want somebody to get hurt from my stuff. With this star, I just kind of pried open one side, and I'm going to push it down over the tree. I don't know if you can do that with all the metal stars out there, but you can use 2 wooden stars. There's so many different things. I love having a star on top of a tree. And I always make sure that one point is facing up.
'Cause the joy lasts all year long. Snowflakes gently falling down, lights are all aglow. Every street in town sparkles with the glow. Laughter in the air, joy beyond compare. Families gather.
On top of the other tree, I'm going to put a jingle bell that's rusty like the star, and then I'll add some reindeer moss I found at Dollar Tree all around, and then I'm going to put some more metal elements here and there just to tie things together.
This festive song, 'cause the joy lasts all year long.
I picked up these metal holly pieces last year on clearance, and I thought they would be perfect on here. I believe I got them at Dollar Tree.
Sweet delight lights up the night, candles in the row. Friendship.
The front of this little sled has holes in it, so we're going to attach some twine, and I like to make my own twine from a piece of burlap. This is a burlap ribbon. I don't come up with a lot of ideas on my own. Probably 97% of the things in my booth are something I got an idea from somebody else to make. But this one, This is mine.
Let's hold each other tight.
Now, how cute did this fella turn out? It looks like he's riding a surfboard or something. It's like the waves of snow. That's why I call it Hang On.
Bring up the twinkling lights. Let's make memories tonight. Oh, this Christmas time. With joy we'll decorate, sharing love that won't abate. Oh yeah, this Christmas time. Laughter fills the air so sweet, singing carols on repeat. And this Christmas will be the best it's ever been for me. Candles lit, shining bright, holding you close, feels so right. Oh, this Christmas time, seeing the snowflakes stand together in this romance. Oh, this Christmas time.
Project number 3 is dashing. Here we go again with my flat black spray paint for the base, and I'm putting Debbie's Design Diary Carnival Red chalk paint over the top so I can wet distress it. I wanted this one to look really distressed, so I just wiped and nope, that's not how much I wanted. That was way too much. I thought it wouldn't matter because it's on the top where the dinosaurs are going, but then I did too much on the sides as well. So I put some extra paint back on and started over with my distressing, being a little bit more careful this time. And it was time to do the animals. I put crinoline on them in Debbie's Design Diary, and if you can see right here, the paintbrush kind of, you see the well move? That's because the black spray paint didn't get dry. Remember how my sweet husband won't let me paint in the she shack even with ventilation because he doesn't want me to lose brain cells? Well, I painted these outside in the rain and I put them under a piece of furniture to dry, and they never dried. They still remained tacky, but guess what? It wasn't a total fail. I had forgotten that I did that once before, and the crackle effect it made was amazing. So if I could harness that, look at that. Look how good that whale looks. Oh my goodness, you guys. I distressed just a little bit of her, or him. That's a him. He wears a top hat. If I could harness that, I could probably make some good money. But my advice is to, I guess, let your spray paint dry where it's a damp room and it won't get dry. It's still tacky. And then you put the other paint over it. Look at these little birds. So cute. So he has a top hat with some floral, and I just start with the biggest things. I put the biggest things on and I decorate them. So if they have small items, I put the small items on the big item. And then I do everything else the same way. As I go around, I just do smaller items, but each item gets its own decoration before I move around it. And my sweet husband tells me if you can't tie a knot, tie a lot. That's kind of what I did with this ribbon. I didn't like just one single string sticking out, so I decided to tie another little ribbon around it, and that way it just left 3 little strips. It looked pretty good. Not my favorite. If I could have tied a little bow, I would have, but I'm not that girl. And now this sled is done. I like to call it dashing because they're dashing through the snow and they look dashing. I feel like they're on their way to a winter wonderland wedding. I don't know what made me buy a whale when I was looking for dinosaurs. I guess I just thought, oh, people like whales. They haven't gone out of style. They're always in style. And look how good they look together. Such a sweet couple.
String up the twinkling lights. Let's make memories tonight. Oh, this Christmas time. With joy we'll decorate, sharing love that won't abate. Oh yeah, this Christmas time. Laughter fills the it's ever been for me.
So far on my channel, I've had a lot of favorites, but I kind of felt like this is one of my projects that brought me the most joy. I don't know why. It's just the unexpected with something so traditional. And that well, I can't get over how good he turned out. What a pleasant mistake that turned out to be. Distressing with a wet wipe is so much fun. I hope you guys try it. If you get nervous, just go with it. It's okay. You can paint over it if you don't like it, or if you don't get enough, you just spray some water on the animal and you can wipe even more off. The point is to go try to do the thing, because you can have nice things without spending a lot of money. Y'all, I paid for these flowers and I got the dinosaurs at Dollar Tree. I found a lot of the other stuff. Let me know if you try it. And also, if you liked this, would you please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel? I'd love to see you guys again. I am having such fun and I love reading your comments. I look forward to seeing what you have to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Be blessed.